Sorry, I've just turned myself on and off again. Good evening and a heartfelt welcome to Conversations with Brandon Bays. And I'm really so happy to see so many names who I've met before, either on the Journey Practitioner program or as Journey graduates. And we also have some people who haven't been with us before. So whichever field you're coming from, a heartfelt welcome to everybody. And this is a time to bring your questions, to bring questions that you may want to hear an answer from somebody like Brandon, no matter how small or how important you think it is, it's welcome. So just a few words to how this works. Well, first of all, my name is Gabby. I've been with Brandon and the Journey for 30 years now, and it is always a privilege to share the room with her, whether that's in person at a live seminar or whether that's on an evening like this. And for you, for this evening, if you have a question, you can raise your digital hand, and there is in the toolbar, the bottom toolbar of Zoom, you have a heart shape, which is called, the English language is React. And if you open that, you will have one option to raise hand, and you click that, and then we will know, or I will know, or Brandon will know that you have something to share, and I will call you, and then we will bring you next to Brandon so you can be with her directly. And and then when it's finished, we can lower the hand and somebody else can come. So it's an hour of bringing personal questions, of bringing something that you may want to hear Brandon speak about, how she would handle something like that. So as I said, no matter how small, how large the question is, it's always welcome. And Brandon will also take us through a short meditation just to help us to allow to get still, and then we can begin the questions. But we have an hour for that session, and I very much look forward to hear what's coming into the room today. So thank you with all my heart for being here, and a heartfelt welcome to you, Brandon, and thank you so much for being here to answer for the conversations.
And a heartfelt namaste to everyone. And that when I first conceived of this notion of conversations with Brandon, it was my prayer that it seems like the times are getting crazier and crazier, and it's such a tumultuous time that we're living in. And I just really wanted to reach out to people to give us a context to come together and to soak in the presence together and to kind of let our hair down, and also to go inside and inquire deeply what's really coming up for us during these difficult times, and to have a chance to air that, to share that, and to have a chance to explore together what might resolve it, what might be useful in your life. And so all is welcome here, as Gabby said. And I always like to start first with doing a short meditation just to let ourselves settle and become present and in the moment. So if you'd like to join me, let's take a nice deep breath in, sighing it out, and closing your eyes. And first of all, taking a deep breath in and just welcoming all that has taken place to this day. And just as we breathe in, let's blow it out of this room. And now take a deep breath in of bringing ourselves into this moment, this willingness just to be here right now and open with ourselves. And so letting this be our time together, a time that you're giving to yourself, just to be still, to open, to let your hair down, and to be present. And so taking a deep breath in of openness and blowing that into your room. and the willingness just to listen to yourself, to open with whatever the heart wishes to reveal, to inquire what's uppermost in your heart. That willingness to be present to yourself, breathing the willingness into the room. And trust. Trust in yourself, in life, in grace, in your soul's prayer that it wants you to come home. It wants you to be in touch with yourself. It wants you to listen and to really open with what it is that the heart's prayer is. So breathing this trust into the room. And now letting your heart be as wide as the world, wide enough to welcome all that lives inside of you. That's how vast this vast open sky of all acceptance is. And so letting this heart, your own awareness, be as wide as the world, infinitely spacious, vast and free in front of you, boundlessly vast, spacious behind, infinitely free to all sides. And we're just resting here in a vast open sky of all acceptance, all love, and giving permission to your mind, to your body, to your heart, to your being, just to relax now. And smoothing your own forehead and softening the corners of your eyes, relaxing the facial muscles, and releasing the grip of the jaw. You know, all of us carry so much tension. And actually, the tension doesn't give us anything. It just gives us tension. And so often that tension is centered on our jaw. So choosing to unlock your jaw, relax, and let your mouth flop open like a fish, and softening the jaw, releasing all that control, softening the corners of the mouth. You can even relax the roof of the mouth and softening your neck and your throat muscles. Just giving permission for whatever wants to be expressed and felt. It's all allowed here. And softening your shoulders. All of us seem to carry a big burden of responsibility, and right now choosing to offer it up to the divine right now. What if your only responsibility right now was just to relax, open, and be with yourself? So offering up any responsibility up to the infinite. And softening the chest and the heart area. So often we can think we're being very heart open, but when we go check, it can feel like we're guarded or defending against life or bracing against life. And so choosing right now to open the door to your own heart, as if you're saying, I am open to life. And breathing life in, And with the out breath, just releasing whatever's here to be released and really feeling as if waves of the ocean of life, of grace, of life force, that it's all welcome when you breathe in, breathing into the heart space, this light. And with the out breath, the release is happening. And as a matter of fact, opening the door to the whole front of your body, as if you're saying, I'm wide open to life. There have been billions of molecules with your name on them, knocking at your door your whole life long. And it's time to welcome this life in, this love in, this grace that's been knocking at your door. And so breathing that in to your torso and breathing it out as you release whatever's here to be released, and breathing into the solar plexus. And like waves of the ocean, it floods in with a flood of light. And with the out breath, it releases. Something's letting go and softening and opening as you breathe in to your waistline area. And with the out breath, some sort of release is happening. And just like the waves of the ocean, it brings in something, and when it recedes, it takes something with it. This is also happening with our breath. And breathing into the belly area, saying yes to life, yes to light, yes to grace. And with the out breath, a release is happening, and breathing into the pelvic region, just letting that light, that life force flood into all the organs of the body. And with the out breath, some sort of release is happening. And there's a softening and an opening happening, as if your body's like this sponge and it's drinking in the grace, the light, this presence, and breathing that in to your whole pelvic region, even your bottom. And with the out breath, a release is happening, and breathing it into the upper thighs, in the middle of the thighs, knees, legs, feet. And sometimes it can feel as if our body is this armor against life. And if that's the case, open the front door of the body, the back door of this armor, the side door, and take the masks off. Let the whole suit of pseudo-defendedness drop to the ground, be swept out of the room. And sometimes it can feel like we're bracing against life, and we've erected a kind of wall between us and life. And feeling as if this wall is crumbling into so much gravel, turning into dust, being swept out of the room. And now going to your mind area. And even the mind can feel tight and tense, contracted, like a tightly held flower bud or a tightly held fist. And taking a deep breath into the mind, and with the out breath, opening the mind like a flower to the sun, breathing into the mind and opening like a flower to the sun. And so heart is open, body is open, mind is open, even consciousness is open. And all of awareness is open, and it's spacious and vast, infinite and free in front. boundlessly spacious and vast behind. It's vast and open and spacious to all sides. And we're just resting here as an ocean of ever deepening stillness. What if every thought were a signal to go deeper now into the fathomless depths of this ever deepening ocean? Stillness. Or what if every thought were like so much flotsam and jetsam drifting on the surface as you remain at the very bottom in the fathomless depths of an ever deepening ocean? Stillness. And just resting here, soaking, steeping in this ocean as it, so that eyes open or eyes closed, same. Another nice deep breath in and sighing it out. Nice deep breath in and sighing it out. And continuing to rest, soak, steep in this ocean as this ocean. Awareness remains vast and open, spacious and free in front, vast behind, scintillating and vast to all sides. Another nice deep breath in and sighing it out. One more nice deep breath in and sigh it out. And when the eyes are ready, you can open them now into this presence. And you can open your eyes now. The eyes will open now. Okay. Let's take another nice deep breath in and sighing it out. And one more nice deep breath in and sighing it out. And if the eyes have not yet opened, this is your invitation to open your eyes now. So this is this time that we can inquire inside of our own hearts. So let's just take a moment to once again close our eyes for a moment and go inside of our heart and just asking, what's really been here for me lately? What issues have been showing up? What's emotionally been here? And just inquiring, what is the heart's prayer here? What does it most want to reveal, to expose, to share, to find some sort of resolution with? And so just checking with your heart. What's been coming up for you lately? What question is here that's uppermost in your heart? Taking another nice deep breath in and letting it out and opening the eyes now. And so this is this time where you can just, if you feel that some issues here that wants sharing, or there's a question you have that's been arising and coming up, then I can see already hands are going up, and Gabby will invite you to unmute yourself and you can join me. I call it sitting on the couch together, where we have a split screen and I'm on one side and you're on the other side. And I have a chance just to open with you and share and see and explore together what's arising for us. So
Beautiful. Thank you. Victoria Rose.
Hi, Gabby. Thank you. While you're doing that, Brandon, what keeps coming to me is just, yes, but. So I'm in London in the UK, and last night, our time, England, were lost the semi-finals in the World Cup football.
yeah.
And what is all over the news and everything is at the end of the match, the Argentine team had a flag, a banner saying Argentina still own the Falklands.
Mm.
And there's so much hate. There's pictures of them burning, them being people in Argentina, holding the English flag over a coffin and setting fire to it. And it seems so, it's just a game, but it's not just a game.
Yeah.
And I feel so helpless, and everywhere the frenzy, the energy of it, Brandon, is so intense everywhere, whether you're in the street, in the home,
Yeah.
wherever you are. You can't go to a supermarket without being blasted with what are your souvenirs, I don't even know what you call it. And then the commentators after the match, BBC commentators, they're just like everybody just laying into what's gone wrong. I know how it should have been. And in the middle of this, one of the guys says, can we just stop? I used to be a player, and I want to say, let's acknowledge what this team have done. They have given their all. Yes, they lost a game, but they've given their all. And I thought, good for you. Someone speaking up and saying you've made an effort, more than an effort. And another of the commentators says, yes, but they didn't this, they didn't that. And we've met people in the crowd who are saying, we spent all this money to come to Miami, wherever it was. And they should have delivered for us because we spent all this money. And it just seems to me everybody's just out to blame and use everything for hate. And I think, where do I fit in? It's kind of a tide that I can't do anything about. And the energy is so depleting. And I don't know. That's kind of what I'm bringing, really. And I'm just feeling really upset.
Yeah, there's a lot of polarity and division that's been going on, and not just with the Argentine and British team. And that's been 40 years since the last time, this semifinal came up, and it was all over the Falklands issue. And
the hand of God.
yes, all of that. And so there was a lot hanging on this game for the Brits because of 40 years of this hatred that you spoke about. And so it is palpable. It is absolutely palpable, but that's not the only division or polarity or side taking that's going on in the world, and with the Iran war and Gaza and Israel and Ukraine and Russia. And I mean, it just goes on. And it's part of the reasons that I decided to have conversations with Brandon, because of all this polarity that's going on. And if we let ourselves become part of the problem, so for instance, if we start taking sides one way or the other, we become part of the problem. And one of the things that I've felt for many years now, that I only put my energy into the areas that I can influence positively. I have no influence on what's going on in the political realm and the world stage. That is the reality. So I'm not going to waste my time at dinner parties, etc., getting into vociferous and angry arguments about what's right, what's wrong, who should and what should, and this infernal side taking, because none of it is going to influence what's happening on the greater world stage. And so what I do put my influence on is the areas in my life that I can make a difference. And what I know about that hatred is that it's usually born from fear. And there's a lot of fear happening in our world right now. And so the only thing that we can do is, when we come across it, and it's there's no mistake about it. You're speaking just what everybody else has been noticing, that it's ramped it up in the last decade. And in the last 2 years, it's become even more so. And is to take a moment to take a breath and to realize that there's a lot of fear underlying, that the anger, the hatred, the aggression, the violence is a defense, a protection against feeling the fear. And we all have fear, feeling fear. And so if you can find it in your heart, because I can get it, that you're a very feeling person, that you're actually a very compassionate person. And if you can find it in your heart, literally while you're watching the game, and there's a lot of controversy over what happened in the last 25 minutes, where it seemed like they went into defensive mode instead of keep on going and going and going. And so if instead you can just send compassion, and when the hatred's there, and just the criticism, the judgment, the almost aggression is there, is to choose to recognize that fear is what's underpinning it, and to send compassion. And so with that in mind, I'd like to invite everybody right now just to close our eyes for a moment and to once again let our hearts be as wide as the world, wide enough to welcome all of life, all of our world, all of humanity, the billions of souls, the trillions of creatures, even nature, into this vast open sky of our being. And then seeing the billions of souls of humanity as being tiny points of light, and envisioning this, and as if there's a world wide web connecting all hearts in this one love. And then seeing our whole world as if a huge deluge of grace, of light, of love is showering our whole planet, and every creature, every being is being bathed in that. Regardless of country, creed, color, culture, everyone is being bathed. Everything is being bathed in this deluge of grace. And seeing our world bathed in this one love, in its light. And letting our own hearts be filled with that love that binds us all and connects us all. Taking a nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. Just resting in this love. Soaking in it. Recognizing that we are all a living transmission of this peace, of this love. And that this choice to offer this is here every moment. Taking another nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. And opening our eyes. And so if we can make this a practice, that to recognize all the hatred, what underpins it is fear. And yet beneath it all, who we are as human beings, as creatures, we are love itself. And to choose to connect there in this love, regardless of ego, personality, all of that's on the surface. The truth of the matter is who we are is love itself. It's said that the kingdom of God dwells within. And that is the truth. We can choose that. We can choose that. A heartfelt namaste. It's important that we acknowledge the truth of what's happening in our world. I mean, the media makes money out of ramping up the division. And then we can make a tiny modicum of difference by choosing love in the face of all of the insanity that's currently happening in our world. Thank you.
I have Chaya next.
Namaste, Chaya. Oops, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, now it's okay.
I can't. Oh, what have I done? Now
No.
I've lost everybody.
No, you haven't. I can see you and I can hear you.
Oh, well, I can't see you, Brandon. I don't know what I've done. I really don't know what I've done, and I don't want to leave the room until I've spoken to you. This is all new to me, the device that I'm on, etc. So, first of all, your video, your meditation now actually touched my heart and made me cry. But one big question that I want to ask you, because it will help me with the process that I'm going through, are there cell receptors in the back, upper or lower back?
Yes, there are cell receptors with every cell in the body. They have cell receptors, so it can be anywhere. What's causing you to ask this question?
Because with the journey and listening to Brandon and conversations and asking questions, and the last time I spoke to you with my terrible traumatic stay in hospital and the fibromyalgia, and you doubting that that was what caused the fibromyalgia, that there was something that was co-creating it and all the rest of it. Lots of stuff is shifting inside of me and is wanting to come out and get rid of it once and for all so that I can come home. And that is my ambition and my passion. And there's a lot that I may have spoken about, like, for example, I was a dancer and something happened to my back and I couldn't dance. That was a passion.
Yeah.
And I went into 15 years of depression. And I had to try and come out of it. And I don't think that I've dealt with it because I felt that my parents just accepted the fact that their daughter had a back problem, that her dancing career would come to an end, and they didn't do anything about it. And other things are coming out right now where, for example, being a Jewish woman, being Jewish, I wanted to go to Cheder. And for those who don't know what Cheder is, it's a school for Jewish kids to go and learn Hebrew, which is God's own language, and for me to learn about my history, Jewish history. And my parents said, no, you can't do that because one day you'll get married and darn socks for your husband. Excuse me, that's not my ambition in life. And that has been something that I've repressed for so long because I was deprived of something. That brought anger, that brought abandonment, and a whole lot of emotions are coming up. It's the same thing when my mother was doing homework with me and told me that I would never be an academic. Well, that was a shutdown, wasn't it? Because it told me immediately that I was brainless.
Yes.
And so that is the reason why I've asked the question, Brandon, because I had a back operation and I personally should not have had the back op, but I was carrying a lot of burden I felt on my back and it led to having an unnecessary operation. And I feel that my back is very sensitive and it can go into spasm at any time. And I think it's because I'm holding repressed emotions forever and a day that I want to let go, stop the victim, clear myself, come home and be free and love life.
I think that you're probably right. There's so much in the way of research going on right now in the field of trauma. And if you've had between 4 and 6 traumas in your life, the chances are 400 times greater that it will manifest as some sort of illness, disease, or physical, as in your case, issue. And so one of the things I love about the journey is, in a very direct way, it takes you on a journey inside the body to
Yeah.
get to specific cell memories that are stored there, to really not only get to the patterns and the trauma that's buried there, but to go through a deep process of release, understanding, letting go, ultimately forgiveness, so that when the new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old consciousness as new regenerative cells. And you probably know this, in Israel, in one of the hospitals, there's 3 hospitals that are using journey work, that, let's say you go for a heart operation, and then you can spend a week in recovery to get to the emotional corollary, to the emotional root cause of what co-created the heart disease, the heart attack. And then the same thing is true in the oncology unit, in the cancer unit, in the second hospital, where after you've undergone medical treatment, you undergo a week-long in recovery, undergoing journey work to get to the real root cause of what co-created the cancer. Same true with fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis. And they're finding that people who have been in wheelchairs are now dancing again. And there's
Yeah.
one dancer who had fibromyalgia, who is now able to dance again. Of course, it's not to the degree like she was a professional dancer, but she's teaching other people who are infirm in some way to be able to move and with joy to dance their hearts out. And what's so beautiful is there's a whole documentary that was shot where they chronicled and did case studies for 5 years on all these patients. And they found that those that did the journey, that the heart attacks did not return, the cancer did not metastasize. And even though fibromyalgia, as you may have been told, is degenerative, that they're getting out of their wheelchairs, they're walking again, they're dancing again. And this is after following them for 5 years. And so it's been all made into a documentary. And so it's what you're saying is actually scientifically true. That what we all know and what science knows is, when you feel a strong emotion, like you did, you wanted to go to Hebrew school, you wanted to learn about the history, you were told that was not going to happen. You're just going to darn socks. And so what happens is, you're at the peak of this passion. And at the moment you're at the height of a strong emotion and you shut it down, it releases a biochemistry into the body, which will go to certain cell receptors and block them, rendering those cells incapable of communicating with the rest of the cells in the body. And if over time illness happens, it happens where the cells are blocked. And conversely, what's also known to be true is, when we feel our emotions very naturally and openly, like a child does, our cell receptors remain open. And so, yes, you have an invitation. There's nothing to stop you. If you've been through the journey immersion, our 3-day immersive retreat where you learn the emotional journey and the physical journey and
I'm
the
doing it again.
Yeah, that there's nothing to stop you for the next month getting a journey process every night for a while. And because you have got a lot of buried trauma, which science will tell you right now is causing all the illness that's going on. And so you really do want to, use the journey skills, because that's what it's known for, to really get to, in a very real, practical, and direct way, to get to the root of this, but not just only expose it and unearth what's actually stored inside your body, not what you think is stored there, but what is actually stored there, but to go through a profound process of release and letting go and forgiveness, so that that programming is no longer passed on to the next cell generation. And so this is the power of the journey work, which is being used by medical field, by psychiatrists, by psychologists, and obviously people from all walks of life. So It's time to roll up your sleeves, go to another journey intensive and throw yourself in. You know, before COVID, and I've been on the road, you know, giving the journey intensive and journey work for about 44 weeks out of a year until COVID happened and we were all in lockdown. And so I was traveling to a different country every week. The journey's in 39 countries. It's translated in 22 languages. And I was always on a world tour, going all around the world. And it all came to a stop. But you know that every single week while I was on tour, I got a journey process. I never wanted to step on stage and be so arrogant as to say, I've got it all handled. I know there's more than one cell memory stored here, and I feel it's a privilege to have a method that will take you on a journey inside your body to literally get access to the cell memories there and to go through this profound process of release and so that the body and the being can heal. And that's why it's being used all around the world, not just for physical healing, but for emotional healing. And the truth is, my prayer would be is that people don't wait for a wake-up call like fibromyalgia, or like in my case, having that basketball-sized tumor, that you give yourself your journey work now and clear these issues so they don't manifest as illness down the line. And so I always feel that the people who come here are being given an invitation to come home to who you really are, to the truth inside, and to clear whatever blocks you, whatever traumas are here, whatever emotional issues are here. So, and another thing I'd like to recommend for you, we have that platform called Journey Home. And it's beautiful. Not only do I get a chance to work with you, a monthly satsang, but you get a chance to do journey swaps. And it's a way for you to continue your journey. There's a huge embrace
I'm
of
on
support.
it.
Yeah, good. Well,
Yeah.
you need to be getting a lot more journey process work too, because you got a lot happening inside, and it's an invitation to come home. So,
Well,
by
Brandon,
the way, I want to say one thing. You're looking very beautiful.
oh, thank you. Thank you. And so are you, for that matter.
Thank you.
Brandon, I'm doing the Journey Immersion Reset on the 8th of August.
Oh, wonderful.
So
You know,
that's
it
going
always
to,
goes deeper, you know, when
yes,
you reset it. It's like you hear it, and I never heard Brandon say that before. But the truth is, because you've done some work on yourself, you're ready to receive it at a deeper level, and you're
yes,
ready to work at a deeper level. And it's an ongoing journey, and I'll be a student of the journey to the day I die.
yes. Thank you very much, Brandon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Shalom.
Namaste. Shalom.
Thank you. Tanya is next. I've got so many hands up, Janaki.
Oh, okay. Namaste, Tanya.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for all these years. Like, that was one of the best decisions of my life.
Oh,
Yeah, to keep coming home. So thank you for the path that you have walked. Like, I have much respect for it. Maybe you remember I was a trainer at the last Life Transformation Week. And when I thought I was all good and I did not need a process, but then one of the what is it the participants they did not want to, so I had to. And then I stumbled into such, like, I don't know, I don't even know what it precisely was, but like it opened up and I saw war.
yeah.
And my whole body started shaking like uncontrollably. And it was when I stepped into my father, and all I can say, like, I have compassion, overflowing compassion for my father. And it made me realize, like, when someone has huge trauma, and this is my question for you, I would like to learn from your point of view. Can it be that they split, like part of them splits,
Mhm.
where does the split go? And what we call narcissism, like I do not like stigmas, but I wish to understand on a deeper level what is going on. So what the world calls narcissism, like where does the split go? Why are they like I understand it's too harsh to get it in. It's too much to get it in.
Yeah.
So that's why they tune out. But also, why do they then need to feed off others who are emotionally connected? That would be my big question. And the
Okay.
same goes for like, how do you call it? Like I think it's called schizophrenia. Like you know what it
Schizophrenia.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is we have an emotional trauma of some kind, and it's so painful, and no one gave us a manual how to deal with the pain. And so sometimes we disassociate from the pain. We don't want to feel it, we can't bear it. And so a part of us disassociates. It's almost like it's not part, it's something that happened to someone else.
Yeah.
So we disassociate from the pain. And then what happens is someone else is in pain, and you were asking about why they feed off of someone else
Yeah.
who's in pain, is because in the disassociation, we feel numb. We feel disconnected. We feel disconnected from ourselves. We can feel disconnected from our emotions. We feel disconnected from life.
Mhm.
And so when that little disassociation, you called it splitting off,
Mhm.
but the actual medical term is disassociation.
Mhm.
When that happens, then they see other people feeling emotions, and it's like they want to feel again.
Yeah.
So they're reaching, it's not that they're feeding off others' emotions, it's that they're aware that they're devoid of it. They're cut off from their emotions. They're numbed out. They feel like they're a ghost walking through life,
Exactly.
watching their own life. And so someone full of life, who is full of emotion, it's like, at least I can feel vicariously through them. I'll feel a tenth of what they feel, and I will feel vicariously through them. So this is what you call it feeding off. I don't. I would just call it that there's a vicarious longing to feel again, to feel anything again. Only
Yeah.
they don't know their way back home.
Exactly.
But what I love about the journey is step by step, we learn how to befriend our emotions, how to welcome them, how to gently embrace the feelings that we have and open into the core of them. And in the core of your worst emotion, there you will find the peace that you are seeking.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
most of us feel a strong emotion and smoke it away, drink it away, get on Facebook, get on the web, get on Netflix, call a friend. You know, most of us, when a strong emotion comes, will do anything to avoid feeling it.
Mhm.
And yet, with the journey, we find that freedom is found by embracing our feelings and going into the core of them. And that's why there's a healthful relationship, a deep inner listening to yourself.
Mhm.
And it's surely the emotions that we have are the gateway to the soul.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Like my father is now 88, I think. So I don't know. A miracle can happen, but I don't see him going to the journey. But he facilitated it for me, so I'm really grateful. So, yeah.
There's
But
some journeys in consciousness with your dad.
yeah, I will be doing that. Could you explain to me like how, very oftentimes a person who is narcissistic and like I had a beautiful mother. She was like an angel. So, but he like I do not want to judge, but if you were to look at it from the outside, you could say that he kind of destroyed her. And maybe that's a little bit like Charles and Diana, but that's only from the outside. I want to know what's going on inside. I think you have a broader view coming from your experience. So I would like to
What
hear
I would
your view.
suggest you doing is a journey process and get to a campfire. And you know, in the journey process through the advanced skills work, we learn how to go inside.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
And
Last
find
time.
out what your mother was going through and go down through the emotional layers with her. And also go inside your father.
Yeah, that's what I did last time. That's where I stumbled upon what he saw in war, where he got like, no, yeah.
And then the third thing I would try is to take your mother's hands at the campfire, your father's hands, hold them both and go down through the layers with them in consciousness. So all three of you.
Oh, wow.
Open in consciousness until you open both of them into source.
Wow. I have goosebumps. Like I already know that's powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful to open into the love that is their soul, into the essence of them. And you will find that's a very powerful thing, and it will probably resolve this whole issue for you.
Thank you. That was really, I felt it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
And we have time for one final question.
Okay, let's Jana, you don't have your camera on. Does it work? Jana Hart. I can only see a black screen. If not, I'm going to go to Rezi Hannon. Thank you.
And a heartfelt namaste.
You need
to unmute yourself.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you.
I try my best in English.
Okay.
So I have a feeling on my throat, and I did the journey I wrote the book and did it on my own, but it's so heavy that I stuck there.
Okay. You know,
and I cannot see what there is there. It's so blocked.
do you know, with as many hundreds of times I've done the journey, one thing I've learned is I don't do it on my own. I always do it with another person. And the reason is I know my mind is very tricky.
Yes, I know.
And so I know that if I work with another person, so I always work with a journey practitioner, I get a process done and I can close my eyes and I can just let go and let the process have a life of its own. But I also know that they're not going to let me off the hook. If I try to avoid something that's uncomfortable, if I try to explain it away, they're going to bring me right back to the real issue. And so my recommendation is that you actually get a journey process with somebody. Now, on the Journey website, we have Journey practitioners on there. Better still would be to go to a Journey intensive so that you can learn how to do the skills, the Journey immersion. You can really learn how to do the skills, how to do the emotional journey, the physical journey, and the advanced skills. And not only after that, but then you're part of the Journey community where you get journey swaps all the time, deeper journey processes, and events with me privately where I get to work with you privately. And so it's a way of ongoingly having the support you need to undergo the journey. Because on your own, it's a little bit of a mind game that we play.
And is it by computer or real? There is somebody real in the room.
Okay, so the up until COVID, we did everything, most things, but not always, live and in person. So you would go to a hotel and get together with the other delegates who were going to the seminar. But now you can undergo the journey immersion in your own house. But what's beautiful is I'll be taking you through the teachings, the meditations, the guided introspections, so you really get the work. And then in the afternoon, you will go into a one-to-one process with somebody else who's on the seminar, and you will have the embrace of the senior journey practitioners who are an immense support there, so that if anything comes up for you that you don't think you can handle, you raise your hand and literally someone who I would go to for a process will come into the room and support you both as you're doing a journey swap. Because the truth of the matter is, my experience with healing is this. You can learn all about the science of healing. You can learn all about how it's possible to heal. You can learn about the hundreds of thousands of people who have healed using the journey. But the real healing begins when you uncover your own truth
Yes.
and you find.
I did go
safety.
once in the Netherlands to someone who did the journey, but she said, I can't go through you.
You couldn't go to her.
I did go to her, and she said, I can't go to the process with you. It stuck.
Okay. Well, the good news is there will be support. So at the journey immersion, immense support, and we're trained to, because there's a reason why we get stuck.
Yes, yes,
There's there's trauma there,
yes.
and
I was very
I've been offering this work for 30 years,
yes,
and it's developed and expanded and grown very much more evolved, deepened, user-friendly. And we are very skilled at knowing exactly how to work with someone
nice.
who had trauma and who's stuck. This is our specialty. I'm considered a specialist in this area.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
I
and
did
so
a
you can
lot of
relax
work.
and know that you will be very cared for at the journey immersion. And so you'll have one-to-one like we're talking now, and then you will also have the support of those journey practitioners who go through a year long of training.
Yes,
And they also go through the 6 different courses, and they complete their case studies. And so it's quite an expertise. But more important than that, there's an embrace of love
yes, that's nice.
that is holding you.
Yeah, to feel
Compassion.
safe. Yes,
And you feel safe at the journey immersion. And that's what people always talk about, that they felt safe, like they could really let go and
yes, yes,
heal, and that there was someone there who genuinely cared, multiple someones, and that
nice.
they had that wonderful embrace. So I just can't encourage you enough. Get to a journey immersion where sometime it's coming up here in Europe, if you're in Europe or North America,
Yes,
happening there. And Gabby will be able to share more with you about it. And so
yes, nice,
I've actually gone past the
nice.
time I'm meant to go past with the conversations, but I just send you all my blessings
Thank you, thank you,
and a
thank you.
heartfelt namaste. And
Really,
I'm
thank
going
you.
to pass you over to Gabby, who can share with you, if you've not been through the journey, how to continue your journey. If your heart's feeling called to this deeply and profoundly liberating and healing work. And so I pass you over to Gabby, who can help you to understand how to continue your journey. And a heartfelt namaste. And thank you for your trust in opening up and just sharing whatever's here and that's coming up for you. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste, Chan Brandon, and thank you so much for being here and answering the beautiful, beautiful questions. I have to say that this is a fairly new program within the journey, and this is my first time supporting being here. on the intro and the outro. And so far it's been Claire and my colleague Daniel. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the questions. I'm blown away by the beautiful answers. And in answer to everybody here, and especially Rezi, the journey immersion weekend is so alive. There is nothing about being on your own or with a computer. This is really, it starts at a certain time, it ends at a certain time. I have the beautiful privilege of taking people through, especially on the European ones. I also saw that we had some people here from the United States. And so we have them on on all the time zones, on the American time zones, on the European time zone, even on the Australian time zone. So, and you know, Brandon is there with all the elements of the teachings, and then a senior member of our team will hold the embrace and take you through. And then we have the support of journey practitioners who can then support you if any help is needed with that. And so it's not just about learning how to do the process, but in your case, Rezi, if there is a specific issue, you can already bring that issue with you to the Journey Immersion Weekend. It's called Awaken, Reset and Heal. And there's a huge, massive embrace, a beautiful presence and energy, and all of that supports and helps in clearing this issue. So we're learning the processes and we receive them and we start healing, we start resetting, and all of that happens. And we do these events almost monthly now. So it's very, very easy to participate. The next one is on the 8th and 9th of August. I'm going to be the one hosting you and taking you through the weekend. There's numerous people who've been with Brandon on the Journey Practitioner program. And so and obviously Brandon is there to do all of the meditations, the teaching sessions and everything. These parts are pre-recorded, but it will be as alive. You don't even know that there is anything pre-recorded. So let me just share my screen very, very briefly with you. Hold on, I've got the wrong page open. I will do it momentarily. Excuse me, just 1 second. Here we go. Here we are. So this is your, and with every question that was here this evening, I felt like saying, yes, please come to the Journey Immersion, because this is where we kind of really dive in, even as Victoria shared with, with the division that's around in the world, coming back into love, coming back home to the truth of who we are is what we do at the Journey Immersion. So there is a 2-day, it's a 2-day retreat. And for everybody who is here at this event in the evening, you have a very special code where we can reduce the price from $397 to $297. And what is mentioned here for what happens is a tiny little fraction. It's a powerful opening into coming home to yourself and releasing some of the trauma that we may have carried with us from 4 decades or from childhood, and these are not things that we all remember, like Chaya said that she seemed to remember certain things, but we don't necessarily remember some of the traumas that happened in our life. It gets shut down and then they get put away. And so with the beautiful energy and meditation and really bringing these things to the surface, we can start clearing them out, become lighter, become freer, and live at home inside and with ourselves in a very, very beautiful way. So there is a €100 discount if you join within the next 7 days. For those of you who have not been to the Journey Intensive, those who want to reset, you have a reset code, or if you are a member of the Journey Home, you can always reset for free. And then for those of you who feel that this is a little bit too much to get started, there's a 3-hour option. There is an option where you can actually spend 3 hours with Brandon, go through meditation and kind of uncover some of the emotional shutdowns that we have experienced and experience inner stillness and undergo an inner process. So this is obviously a fraction of what we do at the Journey Immersion, but it's a 3-hour put your big toe in and experiences, and that is available for 47 euros for those of you who have been here at this weekend. So both of these options are available. My colleague Olga is sharing a code with you, so you can just use the code to get your price reduction from 87 down to 47, or from 397 to 297. For myself, I did this first weekend 30 years ago in 1996. It changed my life, and I didn't realize how desperate I was in needing this work because the shutdown was so big. I was actually seriously depressed and very, very close to burnout. I just didn't realize where I was. I was so numbed and shut down that I had no idea, but I just kept going because we feel like we need to go and keep going and keep doing until something snaps. And I was lucky enough to meet Brandon before something snapped and could start the opening process. And I fell so in love with the work that I'm still here today. So I've subsequently been invited to work with the Journey, to be an international director of the Journey, and been around the world with Brandon God knows how many times, and have seen people from all walks of life, with all ages, with all problems, to heal from the most severe to the most mundane issues. And we don't know some of the stuff that we carry with us, Tanya. And we have people here who've done the journey. And maybe you want to leave a few comments in the chat box, if you haven't already spoken it like so beautifully, like Tanya already has. But it is in my book, in my world, probably the most liberating work on the planet right now. And I just wish that more people had access to it. So I can only invite you, either come and join us. And there is another one in September. If the one at the end of July doesn't work, we have, I think, 2 or 3 weekends planned on the North American time zone, the same. So if you just go on the homepage, on our homepage, thejourney.com, or find the page, and Olga will share that for you right now. The Journey Immersion page, you have all the time zones, all the dates, all the everything there. And please keep the code. And if you are sharing us at any one of them, make sure you do it before the end of the 7 days, and you can get the 100 euros off. So I thank you with all my heart for being here tonight, for your beautiful, beautiful, profound and inspiring questions. And it would be an immense privilege to meet you in person at one of the events coming up. And I definitely will be there on the 8th and 9th of August. So I hope to see you there. Many thanks. A beautiful, heartfelt namaste. And may you just live in the love and peace that you are, and share that with the world. You know, this is the only little thing that we can do, rather than share the division and the blame and the hatred that is out there. So if we can rest here in our heart, then that is something that we can share with the world without doing very much at all, just being present to the truth of who we are. And in the journey, this is Brandon's work, this is Brandon's passion, this is Brandon's life work, and I'm delighted and privileged to be a part of that. So thank you for joining us tonight, and I look forward to seeing you either as a trainer or as a member, or as a participant of one of the upcoming events. Thank you. Namaste.